Welcome back to Pop Culture Roll Call, a show where our hosts are watching The Magicians by only viewing the scenes that their character is present for. This is the Season 3 wrap-up.
Welcome back to episode of Pop Culture Roll Call. My name is Michael. I watch anything from the point of view of Penny. To left me as always.
It's Dasha, and I watch everything from the point of view of Margot.
In front of me as always.
It's Colin. Watch everything from the point of view of High King Elliot, as always.
Right here, right now.
It's Brian. I watch as Quentin.
And creeping in the background often.
Producer James.
So I'm not running this show. This show's
No.
not mine to run.
This is the wrap-up. This
Y'all.
is producer's time. But producer James, you shut up.
Aww.
I got business to talk about at the top, and
Back
that's the
in
thing
your
that I
corner.
do. Yeah. As sometimes. This next Saturday, April 4th.
Yes.
Whatever that one is. That's the
not
next
this,
one.
Not this one.
It depends on when you're listening to it. Time
That's
is relative.
true.
It doesn't
Go to the
matter.
calendar.
6 Saturdays ago.
6 Saturdays ago when you're listening to this, go onto the Patreon and find the video feed that we've uploaded. No, Saturday, April 4th at 11 a.m. Central Time. We'll post those time zones in the Discord. We're going to be doing our monthly live stream. We'll have some episodes. We're going to go back and do TV time. Sorry, no more comic books. Maybe later if y'all seem to like that. That'll be chill. But
print
we're
is
going to
dead.
do the regular old watch a full episode of a thing. And you can get your votes in at patreon.com/pop culture roll call. If you aren't part of the Discord, you will have to bring your own episode of whatever we decide to watch. Normally it is an Angel or a Buffy or a Gravity Falls. If you do want to come watch with us, you can either A, be part of the Discord, or B, you can join the Discord by joining our Patreon at said patreon.com/pop culture roll call for $1 or more a month, and then we will stream the episode for you and you can come hang out with all of us. It'd be great. Also subscribe to our youtube.com/pop culture. Nope. What is it, Brian? You do that.
/ at Pop Culture Roll Call.
That's how they do it over there on
Vanity.
YouTube. I'm trying to
It's
add
a really
new
awkward
one.
/ at
Right.
whatever, but
That's bad. Get us a better vanity URL. Subscribe,
I don't
and
think
that'll.
that's a thing.
Shh, I'm just trying to call to action.
Go yell at YouTube.
Subscribe to our
Do
YouTube.
subscribe, though.
Yeah, we're talking to a screen right now where we're all self-conscious about how we're looking, and I'm trying not to where my eye is, and do I look at the camera or look
You
up?
do not look at the camera.
You
bro.
don't, but I have a problem where I feel like
No.
it's the gateway to the soul,
Nope,
and I want to.
don't like it.
Brian's getting too close.
Getting way too intimate. That's $5 a month.
If you want to see that if you want to see that live, you can go to youtube.com/at pop culture roll call and understand what we're all yelling about.
Hulk,
But
smash that like button.
I promise we won't do too many video gags for you out there.
No.
Wink. That wink was for people watching on YouTube.
He didn't actually wink.
I damn it. I got you covered.
Take it away, producer James.
Welcome to finishing another season.
Yay.
Of this show.
Another season of another TV show. We're pushing up on like a decade.
Yeah, we have
We-
so many things we've done.
We need to check how many episodes we've done because we're
We're
coming
getting
up
out there.
billion.
Damn
a
close
really
to 500.
big
I can
one.
look at it because I think
I'm-
they're all
I'm
main
pulling it
feed.
up.
I'm pretty
Don't
sure it's like
even worry about it.
489.
Oh, we're
I think
so
at this
close.
point we're like
We're at 497.
Oh.
497.
So
We'll have to think
season
about that.
4 will hit 500.
All right.
Crazy.
Magicians season 4, you better be good. You can't be a bad episode.
Yeah. We'll maybe do something else in special. We'll figure it out. If you have any suggestions, you can go into the Discord and toss those into the suggestions chat. And if you're not part of the Discord, see earlier when I talked about Patreon.
Yeah. Just hit the 15-second back button a couple
Yeah.
times.
All right, James. What do you
All
got for
right.
us?
So let's start where we always start with our favorite episodes of the season.
Easy one. A little gimme across the plate, underhand pitch. Anybody
Sports.
want to start with theirs?
I mean,
Should we
it's-
do ours?
yeah.
Our shared ones?
I-
It's
I-
cute.
It should be shared.
It is
Yeah.
shared. As it should
season 3, episode 5. What was the title of the episode?
be. I didn't write it
James?
down.
A day in the life.
Day in the Life.
A
That
life in
was-
the day. Sorry, it's a life in the day.
A Life in the Day.
This is the one where Elliot and Quentin live an entire life and grow old together, and Quentin has a child while they're trying to solve that mosaic puzzle.
I think it's like Key 2 maybe or something like that.
Yeah,
It's
it was
really
an
early
early one,
on.
yeah.
Because I think we started the Key quest in episode 2 or 3, and this was high up there. But yeah, this was, and I think I talked about it a lot this season, about how I felt like our crew in season 3 was a little bit too disjointed for my liking, especially Elliot and Margot being disjointed from the Penny, Quentin, Alice kind of cadre, whatever. But I really enjoy specifically, and always have enjoyed, Elliot and Quentin's like camaraderie. I think that they have a good charisma together. They work really well together. The actors bounce off of each other really well. It's just really charismatic and fun. There's a reason they opened the show with Elliot and Quentin interacting because they knew it was strong. It's a good way to anchor you. It's a really good introductory scene.
I really like the romance.
Yeah.
Though I will say the only downside about that episode, it made me feel like they're not, like, you guys aren't endgame for the show. Like, they're
No.
like, they gave you that for, like, the shippers, and
Yeah.
then they kind of were like,
Here's a taste.
My like biggest issue with this episode is actually like more in hindsight, because they do establish that like Elliot and Quentin remember what happened, right?
Yeah.
But I don't feel like Elliot's kind of pseudo betrayal, blindsiding of Quentin by like shooting that god at the end of the last episode really is in character for two characters who are like that close to each other.
oh,
I would
you're
agree.
right.
And I think, we had talked about this, I think, in a few episodes following that, because it was pretty impactful for both of us as the watchers
There were
of
like
those characters.
there were like little hugs and moments here and
but
there.
not enough.
But like they didn't interact that much.
right.
And then it just seems like they kind of forgot about that, and now they're back to like pre that episode interactions where it's just like, yeah, we're friends, we're close, but we're not like, you know, we haven't lived a life together.
Yeah, and you did offer to marry Idri again. Like, they actually, like, restarted that.
Yeah. The whole thing. And
We did not process that because they haven't been talking about it. Kind
Right.
of
Yeah.
forgot about it. Yeah.
And even in the moments when we get into the same room and we're trying to do the key quest and, you know, we're trying to figure out what we're going to do as the sort of season comes to a close, there weren't really like those tender moments where it feels like if you're separated from, I don't know, like there are people in my life that if I just didn't see for weeks on end and then you get into the same room with them, it shouldn't just be back to business as normal. And I get you only have so many minutes in a TV show, but like they really went out of their way to make an incredible episode of this show about how our relationship transcends basic friendship. And then really didn't do much with it after the fact. I don't think it ruins the episode as a whole,
not at
but
all.
I do think it is a bit of a disservice from the showrunners about how they handled it moving forward, in my opinion.
Yeah, and there's still room to like kind of
Yeah.
course correct a little bit on that.
like you said, we've been kind of separated, so maybe they're just waiting for us to come back together to like spend time with that.
Yeah, and I mean, Elliot is now going into season 4 possessed by some ancient evil and sees Quentin as his sort of like muse or his plaything or his like educator or like his friend or whatever. So like maybe that is room to kind of grow that and like play with that element a little bit more, and I hope that they do, because I wish that they did more.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'll go next. I'm picking one this time because someone yells at me.
All of us do.
Yeah. Its favorite episode.
We called mine Such a Cassandra, but the real title is 6 Short Stories About Magic. And it is Penny talking to Alice Cassandra, going through the entire episode. Is it my favorite because I got to watch a whole episode? Maybe. But it is interesting to see everything in play and then still have a bit of importance for Penny in that versus just I'm the omnipresent narrator.
This is the one where you were in the like room at the library with the Cassandra who was like writing
Who looks
the
like
book.
Alice.
Who looks like
Alice.
Alice and writing. Yeah, okay.
Who was just
Yeah,
throwing pages at me, and then the mafia daughter,
Yep.
the
Is-
map
is
maker.
Is this the last Penny 40 episode, or was there?
No,
You go to hell soon after though.
Yeah, it's like
soon.
really quick.
Yeah,
I go
because the next episode is all that Josh, and he's singing with everybody.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I go to hell whenever
Or sorry,
y'all
purgatory. What the
Underworld.
the in between.
Underworld. Yeah.
Yeah.
the
Anyway.
library
The
of
limbo.
the underworld.
Yeah, the library.
Whenever y'all try to break into the underworld and steal a key book key, and then the pathway shattered and I'm left.
Which I think is 6 of 8, maybe
Yeah.
like that. I think we had 2 more keys because we had the Fairy Queen's key and then the one other key. I think it was like 6.
I don't remember exactly when that
it
happens.
was right
I
around
can't
there.
help that. I feel like you like this episode because it's T, the episode.
It is, yeah.
Oh no, it's my instincts. I just didn't have coffee cake. Enemans, get at me. There's something in there about coffee cake and tea and just something like pair it with reality shows. But no, there's a lot of tea. Yeah, just a good episode. And then we meet up with the map maker who I kind of treat badly. And then I have to kind of make him feel a little better to get what I need. But yeah, it's good.
Your
episode.
bestie. I forgot that you guys are down there together.
Well, I'm his bestie.
Oh wait, no, this episode is in Purgatory because the map maker's down there.
yeah, it is. It's
But I'm not trapped.
He isn't. Yeah,
Oh, it's just when you're traveling, but you never come back from there. Once you travel there, you never come back.
I
Right?
don't remember.
You maybe don't realize that you're trapped there yet, but you and the map maker, I think, once you start interacting with the map maker, I don't think Penny ever comes back. Like, to
no,
reality.
I don't.
I think you're
so
down
either.
there for
Yeah.
the long term at this
Yeah.
point. I think we were maybe incorrect. Yeah, I think you were down there.
Should we go to mine?
Yeah, do it.
My favorite seems obvious is the Felurian candidate when I become king.
Right.
Margot becomes king. I think it was a great episode. I liked the bit with the bear.
Yeah.
I thought that was super fun. I liked the you would think I'd be tired of like political stuff, and I am in reality. But this was actually funny, and it was done really well, and I liked the conclusion, and we'll see. I'm not sure how much this is going to matter next season, to be honest.
I have a feeling, and I've said this like 5 times. I have a feeling we're kind of done with Fillory, and I know I'm going to eat those
I
words.
don't think so.
I don't know.
I want to be with you. Like everything in my soul is like, yeah, that seems done now.
It's gotta be.
But then we get slapped in
Yeah,
the face
we
every
always
time
get
we
it,
do
yeah.
this.
You keep pulling me back in.
So I'm like, no, you're not gonna get me this time. I'm not gonna predict
They've
that.
got the sets already made. Why would we?
I feel like we spend more time in Fillory than we do on Earth.
Yeah,
And
Yes.
95% of our time on Earth is just in the cottage.
and talking about Fillory.
Yeah.
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 I mean, I'm still king of Fillory.
Yeah, right. Which
Unless-
is wild. Unless
mean-
something wild happened. I don't know.
I mean, a lot of time is. But we brought magic back. No, but the library has magic.
yeah, because they siphoned it all up. They they slurped it up. And I don't think we fixed that problem.
Nope.
Wouldn't it be funny if Tick is running it again?
Honestly, fine. I had this opinion at the moment. Like Tick is a career politician, and it's weird that that's refreshing. But at least he
He's a
fucking
poli-sci
wants to
major.
be. Yeah, he's a poli-sci major. He's not perfect, but at least let him fucking. That's
Let him
fine.
cook. Let him cook.
Let him try. Let him try to heat up something.
Everything that he came out with, where we were trying to be like, oh, let's undermine him. He was like, roads and construction and feeding the poor and like social services.
and y'all
we're-
came out with Yoo-Hoo and the the
yeah,
school
like
fountains.
let them eat cake bullshit. Like he was obviously the better candidate.
4-day school week. It's
Unless
like,
he was
you can't
lying.
do that.
I will just say we
could have been
introduced
corrupt and lying.
democracy, so we
did.
could walk away from Fillory at this point. We are not completely abdicating our responsibility and returning them to lawlessness. They have a method of electing another ruler,
Mm-hmm.
but the show has tricked me so many times. I'm not gonna predict it.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Next question.
Nice.
Or
You
first
know,
question.
we're just gonna jump into listener questions.
Thanks everybody who submitted questions. We didn't get to
Grazie.
There's a
yours. We
lot,
appreciate
yeah.
it. We got a lot of questions, so we're probably not going to be able to do all of them. We might truncate and combine some of them, but we do really appreciate you helping us make these actually interactive instead of us yapping again. Not that you all don't enjoy listening to us yap.
Because
that's why
otherwise,
they're
why
here.
would you be here?
Yeah,
That's all
right.
we do.
All right. The first question is from Alopt.
Hi, Lop.
Hello.
Now that you have seemed to have lost your connection to OG Penny, how do you think the group will cope without their man inside the library?
I don't think we're going to change all that much. I think that they wrote Penny Penny 23 in because we're like the only thing that's going to change feels like relationship status.
Wait.
Maybe I'm wrong.
And a traveler that actually can travel.
Yeah.
Woof. Woof. But isn't
but-
it interesting that the big bad for season 4 is the library, and even though he's in the underworld,
Penny's still attached
he
to it.
is working for the library.
PvP.
Penny versus Penny.
We could do Penny versus Penny.
I mean, I don't think Penny would
No.
be against
No.
us. He was tricked to by the library. Like, I don't think that he would like pick their side.
Like-
He's just making the best out of a bad situation.
Yeah. Like leaving Penny alive and kind of unfinished is a choice. You could very easily kill
Yeah.
off old Penny, or he passes on to the underworld and like, oh, Penny's gone. We got a new Penny. Problem fixed. Like, no, you just left him there for a reason. So I don't think we're done with old Penny.
Though
But
we did say we killed him. Margot says that in the last episode.
I think it's gonna be like, Avengers Endgame style, like
I agree.
last episode of the entire series.
Ghost
Penny comes in a sling
He,
ring.
he
Yeah.
walks through a portal.
Like basically, right?
I also don't know why you would set up like unless Hades is a bad guy, and I don't think so. Like based on what we know about Hades, he seems to be if at worst a
I
bureaucrat.
don't think he's a bad guy.
Yeah, like a bad guy. But I feel like what we're probably going to end up doing, because he made that whole point about like, you're here for the long term, build a community, like find your peers, find your friends, like I think if anything, it's going to be like underground resistance, or like Penny's going to use the community that he's built through this book club
I'm the
as
new
a way to
librarian.
help. Like you're going to realize that we're in trouble, and we're not going to know you're helping us, but you're helping us and you know it, kind of deal. Like maybe that's the kind of like selfless act that Penny gets to kind of impart in the final hour would be more my guess. But
Because if other Penny comes back, then I think half of the cast is dating Penny. And I think if we get enough pennies, the entire cast can date Penny. And if we get enough pennies,
yeah,
Penny can date Penny.
We could have a whole dollar.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I think at this point, everyone kind of wants their own Penny.
yeah.
So we
Everybody
could just
Penny.
placate.
As long as Penny also wants them, because you are an autonomous being.
I mean, I think we
Everyone
found
can want
if you
their
get
own pennies,
enough
but who
pennies,
does Penny want?
I will
everyone
say,
can get a penny.
We do have evidence that Margot and Penny both independently thought they would hook up. So
Yeah.
that's one character
Margot.
down.
Boom.
So
Yeah.
Margot.
Elliot obviously
Julia?
wants to be with Penny, but we haven't really gotten much of that.
we haven't found the right Penny for that one.
That's true.
There is a Penny for Quentin.
Yeah,
That
it's an
has-
enemies to lovers trope.
100%.
100%. It's gonna be the weirdest Penny. But yeah, we got Julia, we got Katie,
Hooked up with Alice.
hooked up with Alice.
Yeah, one
Margot.
Penny could do.
Oh my god,
Margot. And yeah, so it's just Quentin and Elliot.
just
and
a
Josh.
man in a vest,
And
who's
Josh.
unstoppable.
I feel like Josh, I just feel like Josh is such a horn dog. And I assume that
I do think he's dramatically straight.
Is he straight?
He seems.
You're right.
That's my favorite new podcast.
He seems to be dramatically
straight.
You're
like
right.
a lot of the characters are gay, bi, androgynous,
Yeah,
like
they are.
some element of like just
Yeah.
fluid.
But you're right.
Josh does
he's
seem
Miller
weird.
Lite
Why do you
straight.
have that vibe?
Well, Quentin and Elliot obviously hooked up.
But
Margot
because
says she likes
every time
women.
Josh is talking, he's talking about like a nymph or a lady.
Yeah,
he's
it's
never
always
talking about
gals.
like a guy.
he like we talk a lot about his sexual escapades, and it's always about like hot female presenting things.
Yeah.
Like there might be fairies, there might be like actual earth women, there might be like demigods. We haven't really heard like a male character talk about his run-ins with Josh,
Unless
or
we miss something,
Josh talk
and
about.
please
Yeah,
correct us.
unless we miss. I could
Yeah.
just not be remembering.
Unless you didn't
something.
see it, and then
Unless-
don't correct you.
Yeah.
But the show goes out of its
Well-
way regularly to talk about people being
Yeah.
bisexual and gay. So I feel like if that was the case with Josh, they would have
Yeah.
said something.
He's just a straight man. He
Yeah.
just
And hey, I'm gonna. We all knew exactly what I was gonna say. Fuck.
All right.
All right. Well, now we have a few questions from Divine Miss M.
Hi, Divine
Hello.
Miss M. Thanks for sending in a few questions.
And this first one's for Mike. How do you feel about the show's decision to switch pennies? Do
I
you
mean-
feel like you're still watching the same character, or is it different?
he is a different Penny.
Yeah, I haven't really interacted with him, so this is on you.
I do feel his approach is a little different. Like even his approach to Julia doesn't feel as messy as his approach to Katie is.
He seems to have a little like he has the chaos factor of Penny turned like to like 7 on the dial.
Yeah. He's reeled in a little bit, a bit more and I think there's this confidence, and maybe that's just he hasn't had to deal with hands that are trying to kill him, and he still has his traveling ability. But he feels more confident because he does have more control over his life.
Is he less angry?
I don't think there's anything that we've seen anger him.
Yeah, but like
Taylor Swift angered Penny 40.
yeah, Penny 40 was
Yeah.
angry all the fucking
Like
Yeah.
angry at Quentin all the time. Angry at
maybe
Quentin.
there's just a more mature Penny.
Yeah.
It does feel that way. I mean, he also lost everything.
Yes.
And so there
Yeah.
could be just like an aspect of like,
Trauma.
Yeah,
I've
maybe,
learned-
maybe it's depression instead of anger.
yeah.
But like even the like I think his approach to like I know you're not my like with Katie. I know she's not my Julia. Tell me why she's not my Julia. Like very much of like I'm not trying to win her and woo her. Old Penny would very much try to woo someone. I don't think him and Katie could be in a room without them getting into it. But it was very much like, hey, just tell me. Like, everyone keeps saying she's different. Tell me how. Mm-hmm. Fast forward, drink. Okay, she's different. But yeah, it is weird because I do feel like it is we keep power creeping Penny, and then we power creep him, and we need to figure out how to unpower creep him, and we can't keep just cutting off his hands or trading him.
So this is actually really interesting because somebody mentioned in our chat on Discord that Penny is the character that is the most different than the books in terms of like
Interesting.
they made
I
him
missed
more
that.
of a main character in the show.
Got it.
That is my understanding. I could be wrong.
Yeah,
but
I
I feel like
obviously
that
don't know
was
either.
what I read, what people were talking about. So I wonder if they made this
They made him a main
did something
character and
with
went,
this
oh
character,
no,
and they're like, oh, this is messing up the plot because it wasn't the
he's
plot
a
from the
borderline
book.
god.
I also don't know how much of this is actually from the books.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
So like,
obviously.
who knows? But like,
It immediately feels like a different Penny.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting watch of watching the same character but not the same character, and then his differing relationships with everyone. Mm-hmm. And I know there's no way we don't have these two Pennies meeting. There's a non-zero chance they hit on each other. I don't know why. That just feels.
Feels right.
It feels like it feels.
spoiler alert for Loki and Marvel. Do you think it's a Loki thing?
It feels like both of them would have like a Mount Everest, and each other could be that Mount Everest. But no, he does feel like a different Penny.
Wait a minute, because when we were talking about like Quentin and Elliot both haven't had their like Penny moment, has there been any confirmation? Like, has Penny ever expressed interest in a man? Is Penny also dramatically straight?
Oh, I didn't make that assumption.
Because like we were saying that all of our characters, so obviously Elliot's attracted to Penny because Penny's an attractive man, and Elliot is
Yeah, you're right. Maybe it was just one sided.
is not a straight man, right?
I feel like.
And listen, that's fine.
No, it's fine. But like the
Yeah,
show is like just like. Everybody's so fluid in the show.
Yeah, right,
it's like
right.
sometimes it's like, oh wait, yeah, they didn't like actually state that, which I like
Me too.
actually
Yeah, it's
because
more
it makes
realistic.
the standard not straight
Right.
in
Yeah,
a lot of ways, which I think is like really cool.
We're more trying to parse out who's straight in the show, which is
Yeah.
harder for us than
Yeah.
who's not. Yeah.
Which is like
which is
kinda fun.
interesting and
Cool.
fun. Yeah.
I don't know if he's ever. I do think he is the most flirtatious around women
Yeah.
and any women.
Yeah. Exactly.
There has not been.
Has there been a woman he hasn't
in
flirted
this
with?
show that he has not flirted with. Teachers, alternate universes,
Principals.
no one's safe.
Yeah, he's a little bit of a sex pest, but in like a good way. We like him,
And he only sex pests the ladies.
which is
That's
better.
actually
So I think he leans more straight.
Yeah,
But because of Penny being who he is, I wouldn't close the door.
yeah.
for sure. Yeah, I'm not closing the door, and I hope that they don't close the door either. I don't think he's like he doesn't have a moment where he's like not interested. Like he's never said
No,
that, so
yeah.
like it's fine. Just curious as we were talking about
Yeah,
Josh.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway. Next
All right.
question.
There's a couple.
Well, yeah.
Well,
one
here's
question.
the next one from Divine Miss M. The end of season mind wipe is theoretically a good opportunity to change characters. Anyone want to swap, or are you still all happy with who you've been watching as?
Classic.
Penny.
Mike gives a big thumbs up for Penny.
Big thumbs up. Penny.
Stars, are you jumping ships?
Absolutely
I didn't
not.
think so. I'm not jumping ships from Elliot either, especially given that I am like the mind controlled villainy character. That could be
Yeah.
fun. I don't get to do that. We've been doing this podcast for almost a
You keep
decade.
saying you want to be a bad boy.
I do love being a bad boy, just like me in real life. I'm hardcore.
Smash cut to you taking off the lid of a yogurt cup and just putting it face down on the counter and walking away.
I survived season 1, Quentin. I'm not abandoning that ship now after we got through the worst of it.
Been at my lowest.
So after 3 seasons, I feel like you guys are more attached
Yeah.
Yeah.
to your characters than season 1.
I was attached to Margot pretty quick.
And that's why you got her.
You give
I
me a
got
man
it.
with great vests, I'm not turning my back.
No, he's not running away.
I will say
I didn't give you Dipper, though.
I am
Biggest regret. She had a great sweater game, though.
tempted. I am tempted. by the other ladies are all very interesting.
Yeah.
Like, well, except for maybe Katie, no offense. But like I think Julia is interesting and I think Alice is interesting, but I also think that those two ladies would irritate me to hell. So I'm going to stick with Margot with motivations that I understand and relate to.
Exactly.
Is Alice the new Quentin in terms of like character
Yeah,
that annoys the
100%.
piss out of us?
Yes. I actually kind of love that they've kind of swapped and shows you how similar they really were.
A lot of Alice, can we stop?
Alice, can we get it together, please?
Not again.
I do.
Get it? You die.
So
on.
we've all died, Alice. Welcome to the show. I do wish we had a Julia. Or we
Yeah.
like saw more Julia because she's getting the god side of this.
Yeah.
I
That's a lot.
love that she just shows up like, I'm a god now. Like, of course you are.
Of course, why not? That would be really cool, but I'm not willing to give up to give credence to that one.
James, you did a great job.
Yeah,
I
turns
should
out.
need to say it, in for a penny, in for a pound.
We made that one of
did
the
make a
episode
joke.
Did I?
descriptions.
Yes, you
That's
did.
the
Don't worry
episode
about it.
title.
My brain's reliable.
Well, Vespers.
What up,
next
Vespers?
question
Hello.
works out well because it's. I think I've answered this before, but I don't ever mind answering it. How did you decide who would watch as who? So, question for me.
Hi, James.
No, for me.
Yeah.
Not from me. So I have changed my opinions season to season, depending on the season, because often I don't want the same person leading every show. So it's not the bulk of the work isn't the same person every time. But I've found myself more likely picking the character I think aligns with the host the most. Hence the Margot absolutely was going to go to Stasia no matter what. I mean, it's not like a 1-for-1 but like the options on the
Oh,
table.
James thinks I'm annoying.
No. Because here's
You
the
had to
thing.
do main character. That was like self-assigned.
Someone had to do main character,
Yeah.
and he does get better. I wouldn't
He
give
does
you
get
someone who is insufferable the entire show. I would not do that to any of you. Well,
Mike, James
unless,
thinks you're a fuck boy.
I was trying to not acknowledge that. I was like, if I just don't move enough, I
No,
can
he's-
just slip through this one.
he's just the angry tan man.
He does get mad.
I will say the minute I watched my first episode and I saw this like ethnically vague man, and I'm like, okay,
How you doing?
how you doing?
Oh, you-
My brother.
And I just can't help but give Colin a gay character almost
Yeah.
every single time.
I don't know how that happens, but it does.
It
You're
does.
a canonically straight gay guy.
Yeah, I do love it. Hey, anything I can do to try and help. I hope I do a decent job representing the community I'm not a part of.
Yeah.
I try my best. That's all I can say. If I piss you off with my opinions or takes, please tell me.
I do think it's more about the shows because like they kind of sometimes like make I don't think it's so true for Elliot, but I do think for some of the other shows like the kind of quirky character sometimes gets pinned as and like you're gonna get the quirky character.
Yeah, I
for
like the
most
quirky
part.
character.
Yeah.
And I think, and a big part of like with Elliot too is, and why I think it fits well with me is that I have a tendency to be detached from like the serious. I have a tendency to disassociate from the seriousness of situations and lean on sort of like affable whimsy and like substance, and I think that is Elliotism.
Yeah.
And I think that works well for how we deal with stress and how we deal with like being in positions of like power and authority and how we deal with like interpersonal drama. And it's like we have a similarity there that I think
Yeah.
is very true.
Yeah.
Colin's also a farm boy who moved to the city.
That's
Yeah.
also true. I'm an
Actually, that's
Indiana farm
definitely
boy. It
why.
also works out well. Turns out we
That was
all
really aligned.
turns out we got similar kinds of baggage.
And you're tall and thin.
It's true. And I'm cute.
Is it James? I'm going to ask a
Yeah.
follow-up question
Yeah.
for this for
Sure.
our listeners. Is that the method that you do every season?
I mean, it is as it's been going on.
Okay.
I don't think it's always the case, but maybe it is. Maybe it's just been inadvertently because it is someone I don't want you to watch as someone you don't agree with.
Yeah.
Because it is hard. I think there have been a few cases where like I don't agree with what this person's doing for like chunks of their recording. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when Cordelia is making weird Connor decisions and you're like,
That was
I'm
so
not here.
brutal.
I'm not
hard.
here. But the problem was the rest of the show, you're like, I'm with Cordelia. Why didn't I love her before?
Yes, absolutely. Which
You
I think
know.
was really fun. And I think in some ways that was like really useful because it was like I didn't like Cordelia. The show convinced me I love Cordelia, and then it made a really weird decision, and I think it just highlighted how bad that decision was.
Yeah.
It does
Like-
end up having. I think it needs to be. You always have to look at the show as a whole.
Yeah.
And not individual seasons. Like the show as a whole has to be good. The show as a whole has to be finished. You will not get a cliffhanger.
Too risky.
It's too risky. But like, it's usually like who will like this character and their entire arc.
Follow-up question to the follow-up question: Which series was the hardest to assign characters for?
Probably this one, right? 'Cause there's so
This
many.
one because there were so many.
Yeah.
It was the other ones were obvious who would be the roles, and this was the hardest one to even decide what characters to even use. And then once I decided who I was going to use, it was a little easier to choose.
Who was the
who.
last character on the cutting room floor?
Julia's a tough one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Julia
I
was a
could see
tough
that.
one to put on the. It was hatching off an entire side plot line that is important a lot of the times and doesn't matter. And you've seen like she comes in, she does stuff, and then she leaves, and you're like, what was that whirlwind that
I
just came
kind
in?
of love that.
I do
though.
too. I like
well,
it.
and
I
that
really
was-
enjoyed it.
That was part of what was experimental about the season was cutting out an entire main character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It worked. Good job.
Well, thank you.
Stay tuned in future shows to see if we keep iterating on design.
I might.
Bye.
Vesper actually has another question, which is when I assigned Brian to Quentin, did I know eventually he'd watch as Brian? I didn't. I'll be
It's
honest.
very funny.
I did not remember what everyone's alternative names were going to be at the end of that season.
I don't know what my alternative name is.
I forget. You said
I
it.
don't-
but-
No, he doesn't know. He didn't say anything.
Oh, did he not? I
is
thought
it
we all said our name.
No, it was just
Quarter?
a cutaway of you being a DJ.
Yeah.
That's it. So he's DJ something.
DJ Dimepiece?
Is that what you think it is?
I'm calling it right now.
not-
DJ Dimepiece.
It's not just 50 Cent.
No, that's
one's
you know,
taken.
Yeah, it's taken.
It's 50 pennies, man.
No.
But he's only
50
40
cents.
or 23.
46?
A couple shy of a quarter.
That man's a couple pennies shy of a quarter, if you know what I mean.
I don't. Next question.
Next question is from Max Strixton.
What up,
Hey.
Max? One of the original.
How do you feel about the group's interpersonal dynamics? In most shows, you've watched the main characters have been either family or very tight-knit friends. But some of the magician characters seem to barely tolerate each other.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really
What?
good shout.
I like it.
It
I
feels
like
real in a different way.
And I also think it makes the I think it gives you a little bit more freedom because like in Buffy when we were getting to the end in season 7 because the characters have been so tight knit and then you go through all of the show and they're like, you know, supporting each other and stuff. And then you get to the last season when then they kick Buffy out of her own house and you're just like what is-
Pardon?
like you're just like
Yeah.
you just feel like a disconnect. You're like you can't really do that. Like that doesn't make sense. Like, you know, and I think it locks you in sometimes when you write characters that are like so tight because then the audience projects their own feelings about like people that they're that close with and be like, I would never do that. And now I feel disassociated from this character or the decisions that a bunch of these characters made. Right. Whereas when you have a show like this, where people's relationships are a little bit more tied together out of necessity, and which I would say some of them are, like obviously like we generally tolerate each other,
Yeah.
but like it is everything's a little bit looser and people fight and it's more realistic in that way, and then also like it gives you more writing opportunities to create something like a big fight or a big separation or whatever and like have it make sense. Like that's not going to be a good thing to do for every show. I think in particular Gravity Falls, it's very important that they're all related. It's very important that it's a tight-knit family with a tight-knit crew, and that's the story that they're telling. But for like these kind of teen drama shows like Buffy and Magicians or whatever, I think it plays better. I think it plays
They
better.
all got lives. They happen to have like unified causes, but they're all individual people who may not love each other, but it's like, well, shit, we got to get this thing done because it betters all of our lives.
Yeah, I think when you get those really small, isolated group, not isolated, but like insulated groups, whatever.
Isosceles.
Isosceles groups.
Mm-hmm.
You typically get a little bit of a hive mind where you stop being surprised by the decisions, and I think it kind of limits what you can do with like response to certain dramatic events or like certain big bads or certain like issues that they have to solve, because it feels like everyone's always on the same page because they're always working together, they're always talking together, they're always in the same scenes together. One thing that Magicians does really well is like we're constantly making decisions that the other side of the aisle is not aware of. Like we're doing things in Fillory that we're not like running by Quentin and Alice and Penny regularly. Like Margot and Elliot are maybe like having conversations, but even at that point, Margot and Elliot are still, even within Fillory, are separated and making their own decisions and like have their own autonomy. And it just allows for something that's a little bit more dynamic. And like you said, Stas, it allows for some drama to kind of be minorly injected into like interpersonal drama that can then be like fixed as part of a storyline. And it allows you to kind of like tinker a little bit more versus like it's benchmark because you have to move the whole goalpost. Or I can't do a sports analogy. Why did I try? You try and move all of it at once. You can't just like piecemeal move everyone towards the finish line, and sort of like fits and starts more, which is kind of interesting. So, yeah.
All right, next question. Addie's Brain asks,
Addie's Brain.
which job do you think you would be best at? Dean at Breakbills, a librarian, or King of Fillory?
I assume a library, like an evil librarian in the show,
Like a magician's librarian.
not like an actual librarian at a library.
I still think I qualify. I literally
still think you qualify.
I literally have a degree. I
Yeah.
also have a degree
and
as
your
a
practice
library
is being
science.
evil.
Trying your best.
Try my best.
Sometimes
So
the world needs a
librarian
little
for you
evil.
then.
I mean, I literally have a degree in it. So
Yeah,
might as
that's
well.
pretty well.
I
Pretty
have
well.
two, it turns out, and one of them is a library degree.
Yeah.
Too bad the law prevents you from getting another.
Dude, do not play. I've been tossing around a
Don't do
PhD
it.
again. Don't
Don't
ask.
do it. Don't do it.
Don't push me.
Not
I'm
now.
close. I'm on the edge. That's how you can tell I'm going through a hard time. I'm like, should I get a doctorate?
No.
Stas is saying, "Don't push me, don't push me." Meanwhile, like Mike's trying to hold her from the edge, and she's like trying to wrench out of his grasp and jump. Don't push me. I'm not. I'm holding you back. Don't push me. I'm not.
So
What about you,
wait,
Mike?
King,
Dean,
No, Dean.
Dean.
King, librarian.
I would be a terrible king.
I
would
think,
want it, but-
I think I'm anxious enough and worried about making people angry enough that I'm primed to be king. It'd be a lot of like, all right, so what do the people want? How do I make this kingdom
That sounds like a. Well, is that a good king or I don't know? Maybe that's a good king.
I mean,
Yeah.
Well, if you
being
give
terrified.
everybody what-
Honestly,
yeah.
I guess kings probably should be terrified of their
Yes. Yeah.
subjects.
Yeah.
That is literally the goal.
that's
Well,
generally-
it was
I'm
the
here
goal
to
of the
serve.
United States.
Yeah.
I'm here to serve, and I feel like a people-pleasing king is like,
Yeah.
okay, so what do we need?
You can't be too people pleasing though.
I'm fair.
It kind of depends, right? Like,
Well, if you just say
don't
yes,
have
you can't say
any-
yes to everything.
If you don't have any like intense like continental political like drama, if you're just like maintaining with magic,
Sure.
feels like you could probably say yes to a
Yeah.
lot of things.
Yeah. I'm saying like you can't say yes to two opposing ideas.
That's true.
That's fair.
Yes.
I could think I could do that. Plus, I'd rock the hell out of a crown.
You would actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever seen G-Dragon? Never mind. You know what I'm talking about.
Brian
Look it up.
I
immediately
don't know what this is, so it's either it's anime,
Nope.
or it's
Stas wouldn't have asked you
It
if you've
is.
seen it. Okay. If it was anime, she knows the answer to that
I mean,
question.
you're not. I'm over here googling, and you're not wrong.
Thank you. He's actually sick. G-Dragon slaps. Anyway.
yeah. I'm going king.
Going king? What do we, Brian?
I'd probably go Dean.
Think Dean?
I don't know. I'd be terrible at all these jobs. I hate responsibility. And Dean seems like maybe I don't know. I guess in this world, librarian seems like they have a lot of responsibility, maybe
Yeah.
more so than the dean.
I mean,
The dean just gets drunk all day, and then he just like answers in the most like aloof manner to every serious question we come to him with, and then he's like, I don't know, figure it out. You guys are gonna fuck around and find out anyway.
can I
Not wrong.
pitch that maybe you should switch to King though? Because it does seem like the dean is making deals and having to suck up to donors, which is not a thing that you would enjoy.
Oh,
doing.
I wouldn't enjoy it, but I'd be okay at it.
Okay, so dean it is then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would not do that.
I wouldn't
I am
do it
not built
either.
for it.
I don't want to do that.
I don't know. I
They're
mean,
all bad options.
they're all bad options. I'm a career ad.
Librarian.
That's the.
I
I'm a,
don't trust them.
These
What are they
are
hiding them books?
You don't have to be a bad librarian. You
you
can be a good one.
librarian.
That's
They've
what
Spoken
everyone,
like a
already-
true librarian.
the only good
Every
librarian's
librarian-
a dead librarian.
every librarian thinks they're a hero of their own story.
A lab.
you
You know,
let-
A lab.
You
All
let one
librarians are
librarian into a
best.
bar, and all of a sudden it's a librarian bar. That's
Yeah.
all I'm saying.
Fucking trying to Dewey Decimal the fucking bar.
But they're like literally controlling all magic, or trying
Yeah.
to at least.
A certain subset of librarians
Okay.
are trying to do
And
this.
are you going to spend your job standing up to them, or are you just going to go sort
Obviously.
some books?
Wow. How dare
Wow.
you think I would just roll over for fascism?
I'm saying you should quit.
Quit being
But
part
how do you
of
take
the,
them out from the inside? That's
Yeah.
why.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm going to sign up for ICE because I'll be one of the good ones. Fuck
No,
off.
come on.
Yes, Stas, you're
Here- here
basically signing up
first.
for ICE.
Librarians, the new ICE.
Oh my god. How dare you?
Fuck, I don't know. A career admin. I think I could. I am a career admin. I feel like that, but I'm not good at like every. You've if anyone has seen my desk space, nobody has. So like how I work, like I'm a little bit too disheveled to be a librarian. I am not organized enough. But I am good at holding a billion small tasks in my anxiety-riddled brain. So I think I would probably be a better king than I would be a librarian, but it'd probably be right up there with dean in a similar thing. The problem with the
What
dean
is
thing,
dean if not king of a university?
yeah, that's what I was honestly. That's exactly what I was gonna say. Is like to me, it doesn't really feel that dramatically different. I feel like they're kind of the similar jobs.
One's got a crown.
yeah. So
Uh-oh.
Are you changing minds?
No, I just couldn't believe you said that.
Her
like-
entire thoughts about the academic system have changed.
No,
No,
it
they
has not.
haven't.
You don't know what it is what I realize.
She's
No.
holding it all in. Is what
No.
is it? I can see
You
it.
don't know what a dean does is what I'm realizing.
Maybe you don't know what a king does.
They have a throne. They have a staff. They tell you what to do. They smash unions.
There are presidents and boards that run universities.
I don't
just want
think
you to know it
Brakebills
doesn't
has. Brakebills
stop at
has a
dean.
board.
they
right?
do. We've talked about their
Absolutely
board.
do.
I don't think they have a president though. I think the dean is kind of the president.
He's
role
kind of
in
the
this
de
show.
facto.
He could
ruler
be, yeah,
of
but
it.
he still answers to the board.
Mm-hmm.
Presidents are, you know what a president, you know what a dean is? Here, I'm going to give you a sports analogy.
Okay.
He's the
general
Gary
manager?
Bettman.
Oh,
He
he's the
takes
commissioner.
I have
he's the
no
commissioner.
idea who this is.
That's the commissioner of the NHL, sir.
Yep, sure.
You know what? My answer is a secret, unsaid, sexier third thing.
Fourth thing.
That's all I got.
Colin's answers. I'm just gonna be me.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a
No, I
Twitch
think King,
streamer.
I think King works. I think King
Yeah, I
works.
think I'd probably be a king.
Felorian streamer.
A Felorian streamer. I'm gonna bring OnlyFans to Fillory.
Only Phil's?
OnlyFills?
Oh my god.
All right, next question.
Next question.
This one's from Psych.
Hey, what up,
Hey.
Psych?
What's your favorite late season betrayal so far?
Ooh.
We have Julia taking the beast hostage, Margot promising Fenn's child to the fairies, Alice destroying the keys, Elliot shooting the monster.
Okay, listen.
Man, you know who's not on that board? Penny.
In defense of Margot, listen.
Not a good start.
Stas is over here with like, librarians
this
aren't that
sounds
bad.
very-
Margot did nothing wrong.
This sounds very librarian.
I would just say, what else was she supposed to do in that situation?
I had to
That's
sort
it.
those books.
I just feel like that's my favorite one because I saw what the goal was.
Yeah.
Sure.
I saw what needed to be done and why, where I don't necessarily feel like all the other options were like,
Well, you haven't seen their stories.
that's true.
Yeah.
And so therefore I get to pick what I decide. So that's the one that I picked that I decide. But I do feel like the other ones I was like, did you really need to do that? Like Alice's in particular, I was like, why couldn't we do this before we got here, and we all are in danger. Like, in particular, her timing for that one really irritated me. So, like, for the other ones, I had problems, and I'm like, that was definitely not. Even if that was the way that you wanted to go, that's not like timing or how you went about it. Was like I disagreed with like their approach. But the Marco one, I was like, she was literally backed into a corner, and that was literally the only way forward. And I'm gonna defend her for that one.
The Elliot one's going to be the most impactful, right? In
Yeah.
terms of like long-term repercussions.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I think as we kind of talked about it, felt I didn't necessarily love that that was a decision, because it felt like him betraying Quentin wasn't really, or like betraying Quentin's trust didn't really feel super in character. It's not bad, but I don't.
And to be clear, Quentin was like, "What the hell?" But like, didn't protest as much as I thought he would.
Me
Like,
neither. I thought it was going to be a way
because
bigger
I
deal.
feel like Quentin also was like, it's not the worst thought he's ever had. I just
No,
wish I was
yeah.
consulted first.
Right.
And Julia, she kidnapped Reynard because she wanted vengeance, right? That's the Julia
I'm trying
kidnapping.
to-
She knows the beast.
I'm trying to remember the beast.
Because she went off with the beast to
Yes.
confront Reynard.
When we were doing our magic the first time,
She
Yeah.
took
she
the
took
beast.
the beast to kill Reynard.
Right. She
like-
saved the beast. Because we were gonna fuck the beast up. That's whenever
She
that's
had
when
her own
Alice became a
monster.
Niffin,
Right.
because she got backbone by
Yeah.
the magic kind
So
of
she
deal.
ends up killing Alice. Once again, a thing that she could have like.
Though I think that was last season, was it? Are we like what season?
Yeah,
was
That
that's
was
it.
season
Season
one.
one, I think, right?
Yeah.
Or two?
Yeah.
One.
That was
Yeah.
back a ways.
But she had her own monster she wanted dead. I think I'm gonna go with that because I like Reynard's awful. Like, I get it. Like, it was very much a like.
I get the vengeance.
I get this guy's bad, but for me, this guy's the worst. So I'm gonna borrow this real quick.
Unless we're missing a season 3 Julia betrayal that we're talking about here. If we're talking about the beast one where she just wanted to fucking murk the dude who,
Assaulted her.
yeah, well, that's putting I don't want
Yeah.
to get too deep in it,
Yeah.
but yes,
Yeah.
that is a very polite way of saying it. That's fine.
Yeah.
I hope he,
Are we talking about something different?
yeah,
Perhaps.
or are we just kicking this
With
back
Julia?
a couple seasons?
What's the
just make
betrayal
sure.
here?
When it was in the first season.
She
She,
borrowed-
So we are
she
talking about the beast.
teleported with him.
So we were talking
Yeah,
about the
yeah,
first season.
first
Okay,
season
not
one.
just okay. So
I'm
sorry,
taking the
wasn't
beast
narrowing.
shotgun because I have
Yeah,
an actual
actually, okay.
monster
I
to
was
deal
thinking
with.
it was something different, but no, that makes sense too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because we do keep interacting. with
I
Reynard.
wish she would have done that differently, but
Yeah, me too. But I
think
get it.
You could say that about all of these.
Yeah.
I don't. Well, my argument is that you can't say it about Margot's.
But you could say it about Margot's.
My favorite betrayal is a secret, unsaid, sexier fourth thing. I actually
Fifth thing.
fifth thing.
I'm gonna teach you how to count. I swear to God.
Unspoken secret sex thing.
I think I don't listen. No, but that was part of that. Yay.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? Oh, my favorite betrayal so far is Dean Fogg working with the library, because I think we
Yeah.
all came to the conclusion at the end. We're
Yeah.
like, yeah, shit, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like the gal who's crushing up fairy bones is on the board. She's like trying to keep break bills in line. She's the primary funder. He's like trying to do good by his students and his legacy,
Making backroom deals.
making backroom deals and hoping that he has more clout than he does, and maybe getting sort of ran down a little bit on it. And like that sets up, I think Fogg's going to be a pretty interesting character going into season 4. I like
hope so.
his
I-
betrayal, and
I
I
like
think
him as a character a lot
too. Yeah, I do
So
like
I'm
Fogg.
interested to see him kind of on the other side of us, where he's not just kind of like,
What have you done again?
you know,
yeah, and I don't think he's going to be a monster villain. I think he's going to end up being one of those like turncoats and near the final season. I think he's still, if he had to choose, if you like gun to his head, I think he would choose our side over the Cabal.
what if he chose a secret, sexy third side?
You mean second side? Wait a minute. Yeah, maybe he could, and that could be.
Because this
the fun
season
part
was
of
just a lot of him, just like, I'm gonna go drink somewhere else.
Well, because
Yeah.
he was losing the school.
yeah.
And I think
So-
also probably he was getting muscled around by this Cabal, and that
Yeah.
probably fucking depressed him, so he was
Is
drinking
there-
to self-medicate.
Is there any chance that was a front and he had this plan from?
Maybe.
I don't know. I
Earlier
feel like
than-
it's
maybe not.
predictable. I don't think I would think it would be better writing, in my opinion, if it wasn't, because we hear from him what his problems are. We get all of the pieces, and not only did the characters not put it together, we as the audience didn't put it together, and we absolutely had the pieces to put it together.
And the second you see it, like,
Like-
oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, which I think you're
He's kinda
right, Colin.
backed into
That's a very
corner.
compelling one. It made me feel dumb as like the viewer of like, oh, why didn't I put that together? Obviously,
Because it skirted the edge of the table.
yeah,
Right.
like yeah, it was pretty good.
I like that one too.
All right. That's our questions.
That's all.
So I guess, do you have any season 3 thoughts that you haven't said during the questions portion?
Or predictions.
Or predictions for
Predictions
next
of season
season?
Yeah, I love doing the predictions.
Penny, Katie, Julia, Penny, double date.
Penny J. Okay, so you're gonna double date with yourself and your 2 ladies.
Yeah.
Nice,
Our
good
2
luck.
ladies.
Yeah, you're gonna go to Cheesecake Factory.
Do you guys think Julia is still a
Chili's.
god, or do you think that whatever happened at the end of the season stripped that power from her?
Yeah.
It is gone.
It's gone.
I think she used it. I'm hoping that it's like, because I think it'd be interesting. I don't want to take away after she like works on getting her autonomy and power back and like becomes the badass god character. It kind of sucked to have that immediately ripped away entirely. So I'm hoping she has some kind of like latent additional abilities or like is more magically inclined. I hope they don't strip everything back. That would be a bit of a bummer. I don't think it'd be bad storytelling. It would just be a bummer.
Do we even know the state of like magic right now?
No.
I'm assuming
I-
none of us have
Well,
access to it starting in the
I
next
would
season.
assume so, because the library has control over it. They
Right.
didn't kill us.
They
but-
decide who gets magic.
right. So they probably didn't kill us because they're like, well, we just won't give them magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they did
But-
wipe our brains and stuff too, so there was some
Yeah.
element to
Wipe-
it. Like this,
They could have just killed us. It would have been easier.
well,
because
because that's the thing about the library. I think we're going to end into season 4 is like
Yeah.
they're not evil. They're evil, but they're not
Yeah.
evil.
They're not evil. They're
right?
just
they're not
controlling.
like mustache twirling,
Right, right.
like
They're-
let's kill a bunch of college
They're
students.
librarian evil.
they're real. They're
gonna
real,
fight.
tangible evil. Like they're the kind of evil you typically see in your day to day life.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
power
hungry.
hungry evil.
Classic librarians.
Styles is gonna punch you in the face.
That's
What
right.
you
We're
got
almost
in
at the
those
end of
books?
this.
Yeah. Other things. I thought season 3 was really good. I like the fairy. I think it's been. I think honestly, every season of Magicians has continued to grow in strength, which is
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
very common. I don't think for TV shows. I'm curious how many seasons we got. It feels like next season's gonna be the last, but we said that last season. But if season 4 is the last one, I'm really hoping they continue this trajectory and end like a really strong season 4 of television. I really liked the fairy sort of like in betweens. I think the outside of fillery stuff felt a little disconnected and weak, but it's probably because a big chunk of that was like the Julia
Yeah, I think we
stuff
just
going
missed
on
it.
and Josh and things like that. But it felt like the fillery specific and fairy specific stuff that at least I was seeing, and maybe it's just because that's the scenes I was seeing, but it felt like that was pretty strong.
I don't think the next one's the last one.
You think there's gonna be 2 more?
I think.
I feel like 4 is the season where we regain ourselves.
And then you clean it up.
Do you
in
think it's
5.
like a half a season of like getting the band back together?
Oh yeah. I think it's gonna be. I think so. Because like, how else? I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I've been completely wrong about the show every time. So like, I
It's a hard
actually
season show to
weirdly
predict because we get
don't.
such
Yeah.
a slice of it.
But I like being on the record and then wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can
that's
be on the
fair.
record and wrong, but I think it's like, why split us all up if you're not gonna make it interesting to get us back together?
Yeah.
Like if we're just back together in the first episode, I guess, but to me it would feel like a waste.
I don't even know what like the inciting incident is even gonna be to like break us out of
Right, which is
this.
why it feels like there needs to be some lead up.
Yeah.
Though we have already run into each other, so because like
That-
I
and
run
that
into
happened
Josh
Sure.
and you run in
Elliot.
But Elliot's
Elliot. Oh, but you're the
possessed
evil.
or whatever.
Well, maybe that's the inciting incident.
Yeah.
But how would
But then now we have 2 bad guys, right? We've got like the evil that we've unleashed and the librarians.
We have actual mustache twirling evil, and then
Yeah.
we have like bureaucratic, power hungry, control the resources evil.
Yeah.
So we have 2 different types of evil, and it seems like that's why I'm kind of excited for season 4 because it does seem like the library didn't know about the monster
Yeah.
or had too much hubris to like fully comprehend the danger that they were in, and they have kind of participated in unleashing it. So are they going to then use that magical resource that they have a lock on? Are they going to open that up to help the layman solve the problem, or are they going to still like hold on to it and try and like dole it out and like use that power? Like it feels like they're gonna have to like shit or get off the pot with, do they open magic back up so they get all the magicians to help fight this monster, or are they gonna try and maintain control? And then does the monster, who was like part of the Minotaur and the labyrinth of the sort of like location, this like dark castle, where magic was bottled up, am I drawn to that like a moth to the flame? Am I going to take the mustache twirling evil fight to the sort of layman evil library corporation and like make it their problem? I don't know.
I think that would be really interesting because I feel like we have to get to the point where we're starting to deal with gods again.
Yes, 100%.
And I feel like it makes more sense. No, it doesn't make more sense. It just I would be interested in seeing like us kind of having a weird relationship establishment of like appeasement with this kind of monster, because he's not exactly, I mean, so far he can be placated, and like the last guardian was more treating him like a child and like distracting him. So I wonder if we could like somehow manage to leverage that to defeat the library. And then as we were like starting to like create a relationship or manage this evil-ish or scary character, now the gods are pissed because they're like, what is going on? Like specifically, we locked him in this castle for a reason.
What's the what was the character's name from Angel that was like the ancient evil blue like crackly faced gal that was Wesley's love interest?
What'd you say?
Illyria?
Illyria. Like Illyria, where you know everyone's just terrified. This is an ancient evil. Don't unleash it on the world. But turns out that there's some way to kind of like connect and like a mutual
Control it a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
And then us against gods at the end to
yeah.
defend. I could see that.
What was her name? The pre-Illyria. What?
Fred.
Fred.
Thank you. I was my tongue.
One thing I love is when things in hindsight all connect, and I did love the reveal that Harriet was the daughter of the librarian.
Yeah.
I love that whole like, oh, this person you met in season 2. Actually, there's this whole big backstory that you're not aware of. I like those things.
That was good.
Do you guys ever think that the girls that were in the mirror dimension, do we think they're just dead?
Yeah, I think so.
I think that'd be a good sci-fi way to fucking murder a couple cast members in a
Just
bloated
to
cast.
slim it down.
Yeah,
like
just
Victoria
to slim it
and
down
stuff.
going into the final season or the last couple seasons. If you need to like kill some like some important characters, but some like B characters just to like up the body
Stakes
count and
raising,
stake raise.
yeah.
Should Josh be more upset about that?
I don't know. We haven't really interacted. Maybe he had some
Librarian
scenes
should.
where he was like pissed off. We didn't really interact with him a ton in the last 2
Yeah.
episodes. So like post that happening, we really
Yeah.
didn't have too much Joshism.
But I feel like he would be mad about it.
The librarian should be.
The librarian should be.
Mm-hmm. But maybe they
But
don't.
it was her goon that broke the mirror.
Yeah.
though.
Yeah, right.
Like,
So it's
She
really
might have
it's
ordered
actually quite hard to blame us for that.
It's the man, your priorities.
Yeah.
wrong
Got your
order.
daughter killed. Maybe that's something we could use. Ooh,
True.
I like this idea.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I think that's it.
That's all we got.
Cool.
Join us Saturday, April 4th at 11 a.m. Central Time. We'll post up some times and stuff to do our next live stream. But otherwise, thanks for joining us for Season 3 of The Magicians. We'll see you in Season 4.
I'm your host, Mike, signing off. Left me as always.
It's Dasha.
From me as always.
It's Colin.
Right here, right now.
Brian.
Creeping in the background often.
Producer
We'll
James.
see you next time.
Bye forever.
For more information, go to popculturerollcall.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Please subscribe, rate, and review. Our new theme provided by Stephen Rossbach. Find him at StephenRossbach.com for more of his work. Join us next week for another episode of Pop Culture Roll Call.